Film Pulse is supported by the kind donations from listeners like you. Please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmpulse for just $1 a month and help keep the podcast on the air. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse podcast. This is episode number 268. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, the man who never keeps his silence, Kevin Rakestraw. How are you?
Pretty good. Not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, despite the onslaught of garbage news that keeps coming out.
Yeah.
So we talked about Harvey Weinstein last week, and boy, I mean, I don't know about your feed, but mine is just nonstop 24/7 Harvey Weinstein, just one thing after another.
Well, it's that. This is where it's kind of getting really depressing. It's that, the Harvey Weinstein stuff, Trump being an idiot.
Yeah.
And then just devastation, either like wildfires, the truck bomb in Somalia,
Puerto Rico.
Like it's either sexual assault or death.
So since last week, Harvey Weinstein has been, I think we talked about it last week, he was fired.
Yeah.
That happened early on. But since then, BAFTA dropped him, so he's no longer with BAFTA. He has also been dropped from the Academy, so he won't be involved with that anymore.
Like when we first talked about this was like at the beginning stages of it. Because I think the only thing that I really read at that point in time was the very first article where it just kind of went over like his kind of bizarre behavior of like, hey, you want to watch me shower? Like that kind of thing. But then there's just been this like deluge since then where it's like he just rapes people.
Yeah, it just seems
like he should be in jail.
Yeah, it's gotten so much worse since then. I don't know if the Times and the New Yorker article came out at the same time or one before the other, but at the time I didn't read the New Yorker piece last week when this first happened. Since then I've read that and like Asia Argento's statements and what she went through with him and some of the other victims of his abuse that came forward, and it's just like, oh my god, this is so much worse. It's sort of like the Bill Cosby thing, actually, where it just snowballs, and then you realize like it's so much worse than what they were saying at the beginning. As more and more people come forward, and as more of these horrific events that he's perpetrated get uncovered.
Yeah.
But man, what a sleazebag. I don't know if you read Bob Weinstein's statements on him, but
he said something stupid.
No, like he was. I wish I don't have it up in front of me right now, but he was really hard on him. He was just like, I don't even know who that is. I'm ashamed to call him my brother. And this is all me just paraphrasing. This is not a quote, but he was basically just wrote him off. I guess they'd been estranged, like they hadn't spoken in 5 years, apparently.
Probably because he got sick of paying off.
Yeah, yes. I mean, it very well could be. I mean, reading.
So, I mean, he's kind of full of shit. I mean, it's easier for him to come out now and
of course
take a hardline stance, but you could have done that 30 years ago, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were saying the same thing about people like Ben Affleck, and Tarantino hasn't released a full statement yet, but he said that he will be shortly. And it's like, a lot of people are like, well, why is so-and-so not saying anything? Why are they not speaking up about this? And it's like, well, maybe they didn't know what was going on. Like, I don't understand why there's this notion that all of these people that have worked with him in some capacity need to say something about it, because frankly, like what I read Matt Damon's statement about it, and he was like, I had no idea what was going on. Like, And I mean, but why would Matt Damon know? I mean, it seems like a lot of these interactions took place in
Yeah, but
hotel rooms and things like that where
it seemed to be a pretty open secret, though.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, this has been going on for decades. Decades people have been saying that he's sleazy, but I think that being a sleazy Hollywood producer that's just part of the industry. That's something that those people have just accepted and live with. I think that maybe they didn't know how serious it was. But I also I just don't think that you should expect statements from all of these people like, why isn't Ben Affleck being more vocal about this? It's like, well,
but
I like to think about it like this. Like if one of my coworkers, if something came out about one of my coworkers, and I obviously none of my coworkers that I know of are sexual abusers or like one of our writers. Like if something came out about one of our writers, I wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I just remember reading this one article that was the headline was Barack and Michelle Obama break their silence about Harvey Weinstein. And I'm thinking, break their silence? Like they were hiding something about this? Like they have a bombshell to drop with this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it starts getting a bit too much where they kind of because they branch out because they took money from him, so
Right.
of course they got to have some sort of statement released, and it's like, well, what do you expect them to say? And
Exactly.
that's the thing that gets me is we call for these statements, and they're all gonna be these
These
sterile.
boilerplate, yeah.
Yes, they're all going to be the same, or either that, or they're going to be the awful variety. So, which I guess is maybe the point of it, is to see who's dumb enough to just like Woody Allen,
Yeah, I was gonna
those
bring that
types of
up
statements,
next. Yeah,
those types to just be like, wow, Jesus. But
I
I
think I'm
mean, are
done
you
with.
shocked? Are you
I
really
think I'm
shocked by
yeah. I think I'm done with Woody Allen.
and
I
just
just
and to make it into this like slippery slope of you had to hire, and again I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it up in front of me, but slippery slope that you're gonna have to hire a lawyer because you winked at someone in the office. Like, what the fuck? I I've never once had the need to wink at someone at work.
no.
It's real easy to not wink at people. Like if you're afraid that it's gonna be that.
Yeah, it's really easy not to be a sexual predator. Like,
It is really, really easy.
yeah, I guess not for some people, but
It's not.
also I don't know if you saw Paul Schrader's
Yeah, he's
his
fucking.
what a
Fuck him.
tool. What a fucking tool. He thinks he is hot shit because he made the Canyons. Are you kidding me? That movie was garbage.
Which also had a rapist in it.
Yeah,
So, not really shocked by his response either.
he's a piece of shit.
So, it's just, I think at this point, just take them all down.
Yeah,
I don't know, it kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
let's wipe the slate
Where,
clean.
where you're just like, okay, so are they all terrible?
I don't think. I think a lot of the directors that I tend to follow and that I like a lot, I just get a feeling, and I know obviously it's I could be very wrong, but I just get a feeling that the ones that I like follow just they seem like normal, regular people.
You,
But
you
of
think.
course, yeah, of
You
course. You
think.
never know. You never know who it could be. I just have a hard time reading a press release or an article about Wes Anderson being some like, you know.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. I hope that day doesn't come.
I hope that we don't hear any more of this. I hope it doesn't happen at all to anybody, even the directors that I hate. Like I don't want anything to come out about Paul W.S. Anderson being some perv, creepy, sexual
Yeah,
harasser. I don't want any of that to happen.
but it does seem like this is just tip of the iceberg type
Oh yeah,
stuff.
big time, big time.
And then, like Affleck, he comes out with his, and then boom, right after that, it's like, oh yeah, well, you groped me. It's
Yep.
like, oh, fuck, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I didn't look into that. I know he admitted to it,
Yeah.
but
And he just, I, I,
just be decent people. I mean, God.
how is it so hard? I don't understand. Why are men such trash?
I don't know, Kevin. I don't know the answer. I wish I did. Anyway, getting back to some movies. This week on the show, we'll be talking about 2 movies. We got Sylvio, and we got the Meyerowitz Stories. New and selected.
New and selected. New and selected.
Got both. I think we should... Well, the new and selected thing, I think, was unnecessary. It was unnecessary because that's how all of these... It's implied, right? Like, of course it's not going to be every story in their entire lives. So why would we need to specify that it's new and selected? Like, oh, it's the novel, it's the book of their lives, or whatever. Like, come on, we don't need it.
There's no need for that.
We don't need it. Let's start the show talking about Sylvio, though.
Goodness, yes.
So this is directed by Kentucker Audley and Albert Burney. I have a synopsis here. A small-town gorilla joins a local TV program where a series of on-air mishaps send him on a journey of self-discovery. This is actually, and maybe it's the first movie that is based on a Vine series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's based on a Vine series. It is about a gorilla, a cool gorilla. He's a cool gorilla.
You can tell by the shades.
You can tell by the shades. He likes to perform this puppet show, but what makes him what gives him his 15 minutes of fame is when he breaks some stuff, and then what's the ape gonna break?
Yeah, he kind of gets caught up in that.
So this movie, I didn't know a whole lot. Oh, full disclosure before we start this, this was a Kickstarter. This was successfully funded on a Kickstarter, and I was a backer of this. So I should so I just should put that out there before we do this review. I want to be really transparent when it comes to that stuff, because I do back Kickstarters fairly regularly, and I just want to make sure if we do any kind of reviews that I give that up front as a caveat. So, but Kevin, you did not. So your opinions are real. No. Your opinions are real. Mine are fake.
Yours have been bought, paid for.
I backed it so long ago. I don't even know how much I donated or anything.
Probably 25.
I actually forgot that I even donated to it, and I got a postcard from Sylvio in the mail one day. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh God.
So this movie is a movie that I feel has come out at the perfect time in our history. I was still feeling depressed about all the shit that's going on in world affairs, and I'm also being Halloween time. I'm plowing through a whole lot of horror movies. I'll talk about it later in the next segment. I was watching Fincher's series Mindhunter on Netflix, so a lot of really kind of dark
stuff.
Dark, depressing, downer stuff happening. And I put on Sylvio, and it's like a ray of sunshine coming into my life. This is a great feel-good movie to sit down and watch in an afternoon and just feel reinvigorated after you watch it. I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed this movie immensely. It's funny. One of the things that I was surprised about is how well shot this movie is. There's some really great cinematography in this. The use of slow-mo, I was a big fan of, and the movie looks great. Like, I would say that I don't know how much money they got from the Kickstarter, but I would say that all of that is reflected on the screen, because it really looks fantastic.
It does look really great. There's some great camera work in there. Some nice lighting too. Yeah, it was a lot more artful than I was, I guess, anticipating going in. You know, you kind of have this expectation that it's a guy in a gorilla suit, all right, that does some puppet shows. So you just expect that it's going to be kind of quirky. Should be a little bit fun. Shouldn't take itself too seriously. Should enjoy myself for 80 minutes or whatever. But quite surprised that there's a lot more to it than that. And
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if I was quite ready for that.
I was not prepared.
I didn't think going into Sylvio that I was like, yeah, this is gonna affect me emotionally.
Right.
This guy, this guy McGrillis.
It really is surprisingly resonant. Like I found myself being very heartwarmed by this movie, which was a bit of a surprise. I think the music helped
Oh man,
with that.
yeah. For me, I don't think there's really any aspect of this movie where it's lacking in any sense. I thought the music was on point. Cinematography looks great. Uh, the performances are great. Just the storyline itself, the way it's handled, because it doesn't. It kind of takes itself seriously, but not too much.
Right.
You know, and
There's
it teeters on that
yeah,
so well. It just walks that line.
there's a semi-serious story that's happening, but there's a lot of kind of absurdist humor in there as well that keeps everything feeling very light. I thought it was tremendously funny too.
Yes.
There was just a lot of really funny stuff going on in this movie. One of my favorite. This is not even. This is just one of the things that sticks out to me was the commercial for the the lighting store with the orbs, 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 sconces. I loved orbs, orbs, orbs.
Uh, I enjoyed the sconces. I don't know what it is, but sconces just make me laugh.
Yeah, I was
Sconces.
I was already laughing at the sconces line, and then orbs, orbs, orbs came right after that, and I was done.
You're done.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, going in because I watched a decent amount of Silvio's vines
yeah, I've seen a bunch of them as well.
before going in, and I've also seen his Herbert Herpel's
Yes,
puppet show,
I've
which
seen
I
a few of those.
absolutely love.
Yes.
And I didn't know that the Herbert was going to be in this, so it's just everything that I wanted.
Yeah, it's a movie that doesn't have any right to exist when you
No,
think about it. I mean they're Vine videos. They're what? How long are Vine videos? 15 seconds, 12
yeah,
something
I
like
don't
that.
even know. I don't even know. I mean,
Yeah.
Vine's not even around anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't even exist anymore. It's a dead platform. And to take something like that, not make a short film out of it, but make a feature-length film out of it and somehow construct a cohesive narrative while also retaining the voice of those vines. Like you have a lot of sort of smaller segments within this movie that you could make that could be a vine, like
Oh
sort of
yeah,
like these standalone segments that are the Herbert Herpels or him busting stuff up. Those could be vines in and of themselves. So you have that from Vine in there. So it's not like it's a completely separate thing that just has Sylvio. They were somehow able to translate these things into a story that frankly is satisfying and extremely entertaining.
yeah. And
I was so surprised. Like I had a feeling I was gonna like it, but I
yeah,
didn't think there was gonna be much there.
no,
And
and that's kind of what my expectation going in is I knew I was gonna like it because I like Silvio, so I knew that there was at least gonna be that. There was a little bit of you know, should this be here? Should this exist? Is it really gonna work for 80 minutes? But like you, I was just completely surprised to have it actually be, entertaining, funny throughout, and time be kind of affecting, and a little bit sad here and there.
yeah, yeah,
It turns out to be this like lovely little film about friendship, which is all pretty much summed up in his little throw pillow on his couch that says friendship isn't a big thing, it's a million little things. And to me, I just, this Silvio, this movie, does it have any right to be this good?
no,
But it does. But it
yeah,
does. I absolutely loved it.
yeah. I did too. I think it was absolutely incredible. I was so surprised and delighted by this movie. I highly recommend checking it out. I think that most people will really enjoy it. I think that once they get past the hurdle of what the hell is this, they're gonna find a lot to like with this one.
Yeah.
Because I think that a lot of people, especially people our age, weren't really like the whole Vine thing missed them, and they probably weren't. They're not aware of who Silvio is or what Silvio's all about. But that's not necessary going into this.
Yeah, you
I
don't really
think
need to know.
I think
Studios.
marketing a movie like this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know how they're really going to market it effectively, but I hope that it gets its audience. I hope it finds its audience, because I could see this easily becoming a cult classic.
Do little clips. I mean, you can't do it with Vine anymore. Do it with little gifs on Twitter or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I follow Sylvio on Twitter, and he posts lots of little things, so clips in the movie.
Which, I mean, this is something that I would like to point out too. Albert Bernie is hella creative.
Oh yeah,
this guy is just between this and the Beast pageant, which was before this, he might be one of my favorites, just creativity wise, imagination wise.
Well, not only
everything that he does is like, if you go to his Vimeo page, I mean, he has tons of stuff on there.
Not
just
only
the ideas that he comes up with.
Not only do I love his creativity, but I like his aesthetic. I love the aesthetic of Sylvio. The choice of colors, and just how everything looks like it was this awesome find at a thrift shop. You know, I love everything about the look of this movie.
And he did a decent amount of the music too to this movie.
Again, I'll underscore the music. I think that it's that really accentuated a lot of the scenes for me. I love the music.
Which is, and I mean, this movie was shot, I think entirely or partially, I don't know, one of the two, in Baltimore. So that gives it like the extra.
Right.
But for whatever reason, even the music to me was just like, yeah, this sounds like Baltimore.
It's just because it's got that Be More vibe.
Well, there was just this certain time of like Dan Deacon and Ponytail and all these bands, like maybe 10 years ago or so, maybe even more, coming out of Baltimore, where it's just that sound had going on, and it sounded like that. It kind of took me back to that time, because I actually expected some of that to be Dan Deacon, but it wasn't.
We need more films set in Baltimore and framed around Baltimore.
Yes, I would agree with that. Correct. I would like that to happen.
I love New York set movies, but I'm finding that I have almost the same affinity for Baltimore set movies. So Sylvio, great movie.
And just the Sylvio and Kentucky Audley, just their chemistry together just works really well.
Yeah, it's great.
It's fucking heartwarming. Who knew Sylvio was going to be heartwarming?
I really didn't. I thought it was going to be just goofy and kind of weird and funny, but I really didn't expect that level of
warmth to it.
Yeah,
shit ton of warmth in this. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, this is going to be stupid fun.
Yep,
I'm ready for it. I like stupid fun. Let's do it. And just his anger issues with his Herbert doll.
Mm-hmm.
He had good accuracy with the Herbert doll. He was just able to hit everything without looking. That was kind of impressive.
It was.
I wonder how he does that.
I don't know. Mirror? Maybe he has a mirror. Maybe there's like a monitor that's by the camera that he can see. Uses a monitor.
I don't know, but man, just shit ton of creativity in here. This is currently, I think, this is top 5 of the year for me.
I think it'll certainly land on my top 10, definitely. So, Sylvio, unfortunately, this is only playing in limited release right now, so it's not on VOD just yet. But I think is it available streaming?
No, I don't think, not yet. I think it opened in one theater in New York. That's it.
I think it's going to be streaming very soon. So keep an eye on my Twitter. As soon as it's available, I'll be tweeting out that you should check it out. So Sylvio,
buy it for you.
Well, let's not make that promise.
Not everyone. I didn't say everyone. I'll buy
one person.
Just one person. I'll buy it for you.
I'll match that. I'll buy it for one person as well. If it comes out, send me a tweet at FilmPulseNet.
We'll do a giveaway.
Yeah, we could do a giveaway.
I don't know how that'll work, but we'll do it. Adam will figure it out. He'll figure out the logistics of it.
Yeah, I'll have to just send me a tweet if you want to be the first person to see Sylvio. Send me a tweet at FilmPulseNet. Send me a DM and I'll hook you up.
Get that.
All right, let's give this thing a score. Oh man, I didn't even think about this. Sylvio, I'm thinking like an 8 right now. 8 out of 10.
Go for it. I'm going 9.
9 out of 10.
But maybe 9.5.
The problem is I can't justify that score. Like there's nothing that I really have negative to say about it.
Yeah, I like the way I justify it is like I just point to the movie and be like, "Why is this a 9?" And I'll just be like, "Because of this." Just watch it.
Yeah.
And then try and argue with me.
Yes. Sylvio, check it out. Let's talk about the Meyerowitz Stories. This is written and directed by Noah Baumbach. I have a synopsis here. A strange family gathers in New York for an event celebrating the artistic work of their father. This stars Adam Sandler, Grace Van Patten, Dustin Hoffman, Judd Hirsch,
Elizabeth Marvel.
Did I say Ben Stiller? I don't know if I said Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller's in there.
Now, Kevin, if I remember correctly, on numerous occasions you've spoken out against Noah Baumbach. You're not a Baumbach fan.
I'm a hit or miss.
You're a hit or miss Baumbach.
He's hit or miss with me. And I think the last time that we discussed Noah Baumbach, I came to this kind of realization that the movies that were co-written by a woman. The movies that I can't stand of his are when he was flying solo, where he co-wrote it with another guy.
Okay, so
and I'm just talking the movies that he directed. So I'm not talking about like the Wes Anderson stuff.
Oh,
just the ones that he directed.
Right. So you were into Mistress America, and now his next one. This is just written by him. So what are your thoughts on the Meyerowitz Stories?
I was a little bit worried on in. It's like, oh geez, here we go. And you got the dad, and it's the typical middle class thing, or well, just upper class, I guess. I have problems with my dad. So I was a bit worried going into this one, but I gotta say I was pleasantly surprised. I actually quite enjoyed this.
Well, I'm glad.
I thought this was pretty mature work for him.
I'm glad you enjoyed it because I had a really good time with this movie, and I was hoping that you felt the same way because I really enjoyed this movie.
On that argument.
Well, I was just I was hoping that you got out of it what I did, the same level of enjoyment.
It was fun to see Adam Sandler because I didn't know Adam Sandler was in this. And
yeah, he's like one
right
of the main.
Off the bat. Yeah,
one of the main characters.
And right off the bat, I'm just like, wait, Adam Sandler? And then that whole first section of him trying to find a parking spot and just the way that it's shot and the writing and everything, I was like, okay, I think everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah, yeah. I felt the exact same way. So I knew a little bit about the plot going into it. I had no preconceived notions about it. I wasn't particularly excited for it, even though I do like most of Baumbach's movies, even the ones that you despise, like Greenberg and Squid and the Whale.
I like Greenberg.
Oh, you did? I thought that was.
I did like Greenberg. No, I like Greenberg. Squid and the Whale sucks. That's a shit movie.
So the only one that you really don't like is the Squid and the Whale.
No, I don't like Squid and the Whale. I don't like While We're Young. That was awful.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Yeah, I missed that one.
Kicking and Screaming.
That's his first movie.
Either. I don't like that one. Yeah, it's 3.
Okay.
3 that I don't like, and now 4 that I do like. All right, there you go.
So he's in the he's back in the winning column.
4-3. He's 4-3. I'm sure that'll make him really happy to learn
that. So yeah, I had no expectations about this one going into it, and from that opening scene, I was laughing, and I was like, okay, I'm glad to see Sandler back in a decent role, and I was very happy to see him in this movie because I still think Adam Sandler is a great actor, and I think that he's a really funny human being, but it's just the choices that he's made with his recent Netflix offerings is a little lacking.
And I think that's something kind of like Sylvio, where he kind of gets pigeonholed in that. That's what people want, so he delivers. He's making that money.
Yeah, I guess
we've talked about it numerous times. You're going to pay me how much money? I get to hang out with my friends. Hey, all right, I can do that.
Yeah, but I'm still happy that he decides to do movies like this every now and then.
Yeah.
Because it sort of reminds us that Adam Sandler is actually a talented actor. And he's able to straddle that line between comedy and drama fairly easy, I would say.
Yeah.
Although this movie, I thought this movie was tremendously funny as well. I thought the writing was on point on this. There's a ton of throwaway lines and just little bits of dialogue, because frequently as the movie progresses, you have a lot of people talking over each other, which I tend to like in movies, and a lot of those lines are really funny.
It is a well-written film, and I think for me, Elizabeth Marvel was the high point. His sister.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that she was unbelievable. She was so great, and I don't know if this was, well, I'm sure it was a conscious decision, but everything that they're going through, and you have Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler's character just whining and bitching and moaning, and they can't move on with their lives because of their father, played by Dustin Hoffman, and all this stuff. And like, here she is, just no one really interacts with her.
She's just going with the flow. She's
no one really acknowledges her.
Largely silent throughout a lot of the movie.
And when they're talking about like the past and things, she's never once mentioned. So did she exist as they were growing up? I have no idea. It seems like just everyone ignored her like throughout the entirety of their lives, unless they need her. And she's going through all of this, and she seems to be able to handle it pretty well.
One of my favorite lines in the movie comes from her, and it was when Adam Sandler first realized she was at the house, and she goes, "I made cookies, but I stepped in dog shit." And just the way she delivered that line was so funny to me.
And just when they finally like talk to her, and she recounts her story. Which and they just,
not to interrupt, but when the way that they introduced that, where she just randomly is running away.
Yeah, she just runs away, and then they finally catch up with her. She tells them and everything, and all this time they've been so laser focused on their own bullshit, which is like, it pales in comparison, like by like tenfold, because the stuff that they're dealing with is just kind of ridiculous. Like, get the fuck over it. And, she recounts her story, and all they could do is, like, try and hug her. She's just like, I'm going for a smoke. Get away from me.
Yeah. I also love the casual way in which she told the story, too. Just her delivery of that story was gold.
And then how, everything that transpires, and when she kind of realizes what they did, I guess, in their minds to, like, even the score or whatever, which, again, how ridiculous they are as people, and how she kind of points out that she could smash every car and burn the hospital down, and it wouldn't fix anything. Yeah. Which I think was her way of trying to tell these guys that, like, you can't fix this. And they keep trying, and it's so stupid what they're trying to fix. Like, I don't. They make such a big deal out of it. These two.
If there's one issue I had with the movie, it was that I felt like it was never fully conveyed why they were always bitching and moaning about their lives being so messed up. Like, I just didn't feel like I get it. You keep saying that your dad wasn't there for you and this and that, but I wasn't seeing that. I wasn't feeling that.
Yeah, because it seemed like everything else was pretty great.
Yeah, I mean,
Danny and
well, they had issues. I mean, Danny was going through a separation with his wife, and then Ben Stiller's character was also having marital troubles, it seems, as well. So I mean, there certainly were problems, but the focus of their problems, and maybe this is part of it, they kept projecting those issues onto their dad, Harold.
Yeah, well, yeah, I
And
think they cling on to this is their daddy issue, which is probably why everything else is falling apart. Get over it. You're like, what, mid 40s, late 40s, 50s? I don't know how old these guys are, but
probably mid 40s, maybe.
I think at
Late
this
40s.
point in time, you should be over this, especially considering that it just wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't seem like that big of a deal.
Right. Yeah. That was kind of the sense that I got.
But I also was kind of confused by this. They keep Danny Sandler's character kind of keeps pointing to how he does like his dad's work. Dustin Hoffman is a sculptor. He's an artist. He likes his dad's work, and you think it should have been appreciated more. And they're trying to put together this show at Bard College and everything. And I'm just thinking, it seems like you were pretty successful. Like, you have 2 houses.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you have a piece at the Whitney. Like, it seems like things worked out pretty well. I don't quite understand what the concern is here. It seemed like he did pretty well for himself.
Yeah. That was the sense that I got too. Like, often they mention how he never really made it. Like, he's never really made a name for himself, but it was like he seemed like he's pretty. I mean, he seemed like he had a successful career as a professional artist, which is the feat unto itself. And then on top of that, he was also a teacher at Bard. So it seems to me like he had a pretty full life and a full career.
Yeah.
Although maybe that's part of
the
story.
He's just greedy. He's greedy.
He's just
greedy little
he's always jealous. He's never going to be happy with the level of success that he has.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Hoffman's character?
Hoffman's always good.
Yeah, he's always great.
I like Hoffman here, especially when him and Ben Stiller are out for lunch, but they never get to actually eat lunch.
I love how they kept cutting. Every time they would cut, they'd be in a new restaurant. I would love that. And then the guy putting things on their table.
And just the way that they filmed that too, when Ben Stiller's chasing him down, like they have the camera come down and then pan across, and they see the guy, running down the other side of the building, and then Stiller running back to see where Hoffman is, and then just the way they filmed all of that was great.
Yeah, I thought the camera work was good in this. I thought the cinematography was decent. There were some fun moments. I like the fight scene between Sandler and Stiller. I liked how that was shot.
This was Robbie Ryan, which I was kind of surprised.
Oh, okay.
Like the whole way through the film, I was like, damn, I'm really liking this. And I was like, oh, it's Robbie Ryan. He's worked with Baumbach before.
Yeah. I enjoyed the visuals on this. They're pretty good. There was a weird editing choice that happened towards the end of the movie where they give us a little bit of Eliza's story, and then they do this fade to black for some reason, and then they fade back in, and it's like a bunch of time has passed. And I really didn't understand why they did that, because they didn't do it in any other moment in the movie, and it felt kind of strange to me. It felt a little out of place. Did you notice that?
Yeah. I just figured that it was, again, the women not getting, because these 3 kind of dominate
I guess.
The world, that little world of the Meyerowitzes.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like they didn't spend...
But it seems like she's going to break out of it, because that last video is ridiculous. The slap. The Jeed's there.
And she's that was a great scene, the haircut where he's like, oh, I can do it, I have scissors, and then the next cut is her with the shorter hair.
They have the exact same haircut,
but it looked absolutely horrible on Jean. I like how she was like, I'm in 5 of them. A lot of funny stuff in this movie. I was laughing throughout almost the whole thing.
Yeah, I wish it was just Gene, because I have a feeling that the Gene, like if we did a Gene section, maybe like 30, 40 minutes, that Gene section would be much funnier than everyone else. Not to say that this movie isn't funny.
Right.
I just have a feeling that Gene is even funnier, and she needs the limelight.
Agreed. We get to
Because
see.
I want to know about her little videos that she makes at Xerox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone fucking loves them.
We do get to see Adam Sandler going off the handle a few times in this, and that was great. Get to see angry Sandler.
Yeah, yeah. They all three seem to have a little bit of anger issues.
Oh yeah.
Sandler a little bit worse though.
I loved the ongoing limp issue and how everybody consistently brought it up.
And then how they cut to they just out of nowhere cut to kind of wrapping that one up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
bringing it to its conclusion.
A lot of great editing choices in this. I felt like the use of cuts mid scene were good.
Did add a lot. Yeah, I think it did. It heightened the comedy a bit.
Yeah, they did it. They did it quite frequently, and they would do it like in the middle of dialogue, and I thought it was pretty successful in how they did that. Yeah, overall, I would say that this is definitely worth a look. It's on Netflix, so you can check it out. I'd say it's better than a lot of the Netflix stuff.
I'd say this is probably one of the best Netflix movies. Maybe
the
best. I don't know.
I'm still a big fan of what's it called? I Don't Want to Live in This World Anymore. Is that the name of it, or something like that?
Yeah, something like I don't feel
at home in this world anymore.
That's a ridiculous title.
I know.
See, I think that's the problem with Netflix. It's like you're just able to do whatever title you want, so you end up getting the Meyerowitz Stories, new and selected. I don't feel at home in this world anymore. It's just like it's going on Netflix. You can make it whatever title you want.
Yeah, just do whatever you want. You're on Netflix. Yeah, I would say that this is definitely one of their best fictional movies.
Yeah.
So let's give this a score. I think we'll start with you, Kevin. What are you going to give the Meyerowitz Stories?
Ooh, I'm going to say 7.5, maybe 8.
I'm sitting at 7.5, 8 as well. My initial thought is 7.5 on this one.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed it. I mean, talking about it, I literally just finished it right before we started recording. So
it's one of those. This is one of those good weeks, where we pick 2 movies to watch. They're both good. They're both entertaining. Both funny.
Yeah. Yep.
It was a nice weekend.
It was a great weekend for me. Let's use that to segue into our watch list. I saw Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Mm-hmm.
This is from S. Craig Zoller. This is the guy who did Bone Tomahawk, which both of us were pretty big fans of, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I loved me some Bone Tomahawk. So this is another exploitation film, modern exploitation film. This tackles the prison genre, and I will say that it tackles it in a big and extremely successful way. I pretty much loved this movie. It stars Vince Vaughn as this guy who, down on his luck, he's a tow truck driver, gets laid off, doesn't have any other way to get money, so he decides to work for his buddy drug running. So he does that for quite a while, makes a lot of money. He is able to move his wife into a nicer house, and they have a baby on the way, and then shit hits the fan. He ends up in prison. Because of what happened, he ended up losing a bunch of drugs for this cartel, and what they do is they kidnap his wife, his pregnant wife, and they say, if you don't kill this guy who's in another prison, then if you don't kill him by this certain time, we're going to get a Korean abortionist to cut off the limbs of your unborn child and mail them to you. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This movie is so brutal and so violent. I was shocked at some of the sequences in this movie. I was just like, holy shit. Bone Tomahawk was the same way, where if you remember that movie, it played out like a fun Western, maybe with some horror elements, until the end when you're just like, oh my God, what is going on? And that's sort of how this one plays out as well. It's not very violent. There's some fight scenes that have some brutality to them, but it's pretty tame until towards the end. Then it just ratchets up the level of violence to like turn your head away levels, because it's just so intense. So basically what happens, Vince Vaughn agrees to do this. He's in a medium security prison. He gets a 7-year sentence. And so he's like, okay, well, I got to go over to this maximum security prison. How do I do that? Oh, I'll just beat the shit out of a whole bunch of prison guards all at once. So he ends up in maximum security prison. It's this horrible, almost fantastical place. It's run by Don Johnson, and it's like it looks like an old castle or something, and it's just the most horrible place ever. His first night there, they put him in this cell. Or first he has to get transferred to the cell block where the guy is that he has to kill. So he has to beat up some more people to get transferred there, because it's like the worst cell block in the whole prison. Once he gets transferred there, they put this shock belt on him and tell him that he's going to get 25 shocks over the next month, and it'll happen at random times, but it'll definitely be while he's either eating, sleeping, or using the bathroom. So throughout a large section of this movie, Vince Vaughn's just wearing this shock belt and just randomly getting shocked at certain times. When they first throw him into his cell, it has broken glass all over the floor. Like, it's just covered in broken glass. So they shock him whenever he's like standing up so that he falls into the broken glass. It's a crazy movie. I highly recommend it. It's on VOD now. It's called Brawl in Cell Block 99. It's really out there. It's very good. If you liked Bone Tomahawk, this is right up there. There is some comedy in this one, not as much as Bone Tomahawk. However, the dialogue's pretty snappy, just like that one was as well.
All right.
And again, some of the shit that you see in this movie, you're just like, I've never seen that in a movie before. That is insane.
I saw The Survivalist from
okay.
Stephen Finkelton. This is on Netflix Instant as well. You can watch this one. One of these, as the name suggests, survivalist movies. The apocalypse.
Yeah, I saw this
There's
one.
something along those lines. Guy out in the woods trying to give it a go. Got his little farm and whatnot. Things get a little bit dicey when a woman and her daughter show up, and he decides to take them in, and it kind of works out, kind of doesn't work out. This is kind of a slow one. It's not gonna wow you. I mean, for me there wasn't much going on the narrative side of things. You know what I mean? There isn't anything that kind of shocked me or surprised me or kept me riveted. You know, it was just kind of standard, pretty much played out the way that I thought it would play out. The visuals too, I didn't think there was really anything that kind of wowed me. It's a solid, well-made film that just does nothing for me. It's just a light, cool breeze blew by for a while. That's what I on Letterboxd I call it. It's a well-prepared glass of water. That's what I mean, like there's not a whole lot of negative to lob against it, but at the same time, there's really no positives either. It's just right down the middle.
I called it the feel bad movie of the year, and I got quoted for that.
Yeah, I mean it's not a happy one.
No.
You're not gonna it's not gonna uplift you in any way. I mean, really, the only reason that I would seek this out is if you're really into that, the whole survivalist, surviving the apocalypse type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I am into those types of movies. I thought that this movie was okay too. I didn't hate it or anything, but
Yeah, that's just,
I
it's just nothing memorable about it.
yeah, I remember very little.
Because as soon as he lets the two women in, you're just like, oh, this isn't gonna end well. You guys don't have enough stuff, and you're a huge target. Because at that point in time, he's already had like 4 people come to his place. It's like there's just gonna keep being people, and you only have like 2 bullets. Like this isn't gonna work.
Right.
I don't understand people trying to survive the apocalypse. Just end it. What's the point?
Well, I appreciate your outlook.
What the fuck you want to survive that for? All that work? Come on.
So that's the Survivalist on Netflix. I saw the Florida Project.
You son of a bitch.
So this is Sean Baker's latest. He did Tangerine back in 2015. Was one of my favorite movies of the year in 2015. And guess what? Florida Project going to be one of my favorite movies of 2017 because it is amazing. This is the type of movie that is very much tailor fit to my interests. I mean, I loved the setting. It's set in Orlando, in sort of rundown area of Orlando, which is actually, if you've been to Orlando, that's most of Orlando. It's there's a lot of shitty areas of Orlando, and this takes place in a hotel, like an area that's just nothing but sort of rundown hotels that are like extended stay hotels, and follows a girl who lives at this hotel with her mom, and it just follows her life and the adventures that she gets in with her friends who also live either at the same hotel she's in or a neighboring hotel. The girl in this, her name's Brooklyn Prince. Amazing. I'm notoriously hard on child actors, and this kid was incredible. Like what she brought to the table, what she was able to do while being that young was really impressive to me. I thought she was just incredible. Willem Dafoe plays the hotel manager, and he is amazing. He probably one of the best roles I've seen him in a few years. You got some small parts for Caleb Landry Jones in there, and you know what? He's not some kind of strung out druggy in this, but he is kind of sweaty and slightly dirty looking. So
I wonder if that's gonna come out in every role. He just seems to have this odd like energy to him.
Well, this one is definitely the role that he plays is sort of against type in this. So he's like he's pretty much a normal person in this. So I'd say it's slightly against type. He actually plays Willem Dafoe's son in it, and he's only in like 2 scenes, but Macon Blair's in it for about a minute too. But this small amount of time he's in it is definitely memorable. So it's funny, it's tragic, it's like a roller coaster of emotions in this movie, and it's also very heartfelt. So it's gorgeous too. Like, Tangerine was famously shot on an iPhone and it looked amazing. This is actually shot on an actual film camera and it looks just as amazing. So definitely check out the Florida Project if and when it's going to be playing in your area, because it gets my highest of recommendations.
Okay, check it. I'm looking forward to that one. I'll be waiting patiently. I feel like it's going to be a while.
I think you'll be able to see it.
Meantime,
you'll be able to see it before the end of the year, I think.
Probably. That's my hope. But in the meantime, I watched A Dark Song.
I remember this one.
Liam Gavin. This is also on Netflix Instant, if you sense a trend. This one, too, just completely unmemorable. Up until a certain point, I thought it was kind of interesting the way that it was working with this woman that lost her son, and she kind of hires Steve Oram to do this she gets a house and everything to do these like rituals to try and, I guess she wants to get revenge, right? So up until a certain point, it's really interesting the way that, like, what she's willing to sacrifice in order to make this happen, because Steve Oram he's back and forth where he seems like just, I mean, he's doing rituals and stuff, so he's not 100%, decent.
Right,
But
but also you're constantly questioning if this is
yeah,
even real. Like, you just think, is he a fraud? Is he just trying to take
yeah,
advantage of this woman?
and he increasingly does some like really creepy stuff where it's just like, okay, I don't think he knows what he's doing. Like, he's just using this to abuse her, really. Um, and then goes horror at the end, which is when it fell apart for me. When it revealed itself, it just, because it just felt like more of the same.
Yeah.
To me, you were doing something really interesting. I was in it, and then you just went the standard route. And I was just like, oh, okay, this again. It kind of bummed me out.
I was more keen on the premise of this one. I thought it was an interesting idea.
I did too, and and then the way that they were kind of going about it, the way that they were executing it. But then, like I said, at a certain point, they just dropped all that stuff, and we're like, let's just do standard fare. We'll do some creepy creatures.
Some creepy creatures.
Creepy creatures that you've seen 289 times before.
Yep.
This one looks like he's kind of dead. This one's got some white stuff on him. It's like, cool.
This one's got
All
some
right.
white stuff on him.
It looks like someone threw a shit ton of chalk on him. Like, oh boy.
So that's a dark song, available on Netflix. I saw one that's on Netflix called The Babysitter. This is a horror comedy directed by McG.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of McG's stuff at all.
I didn't know he was still making movies.
Well, he is. And evidently it's this Netflix movie called The Babysitter. In fact, looking at his filmography, I have not liked a single one of his movies that I've seen. And I've seen, looks like 4 or 5 of them. This one was okay. It wasn't anything great. It felt like a Netflix movie. And I think that we can say I think it's safe to say at this point that it felt like a Netflix movie, and people will know what that means. Like, they'll know what that'll look like and how that'll feel.
It's in the same vein as Vanilla Folder.
Yeah. So basically the premise of this one is it's this kid who has a little bit of a crush on his babysitter, played by what's her name? I think it's Samara Weaving, maybe that's who it is. Yeah. Super hot, like, older babysitter, and he is talking to his neighbor, and his neighbor basically says to him, well, you should see what she's doing after you go to sleep. You should see if, like, she's having a boyfriend over, if they're making out. So you should see what's going on. So he decides to stay up and pretend that he's going to sleep. And he comes to find that his babysitter has a bunch of people over in order to do some sort of satanic ritual in his house.
Ooh.
And they have to sacrifice a human. So they kill somebody in his living room. He sees it. And then another part of the ritual is the blood of the innocent. So he has to go back to bed and pretend to be asleep. And they go into his room and steal some of his blood. But then he wakes up and they find out that he saw what they did, so they try to kill him. The comedy is not really that funny at all. There's like these silly title cards that constantly pop up that make it try to make it feel like grindhousey, but they don't work at all. So yeah, the comedy definitely didn't really land for me. There's a lot of gore in it, a lot of really crazy gore that looked actually pretty good. So that was on point, but overall it was just pretty much meh. It really was a manila folder.
It's a bummer. I was surprised by Unfriended.
Yeah, Unfriended.
I watched Unfriended.
It's a pretty fun one.
Um, it is. It is. And at least for me, I haven't experienced a movie doing this type of thing, where it's all desktop. So to me,
Yeah,
it was original and felt fresh.
there's not too
And
many of them
with
out
that
there.
in mind, yeah, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if this has been done before or, maybe this is like the third or fourth film to do this. But either way, with that in mind, right from the outset, is I don't know what the formula is. So I have no idea where this is going, where it's going to end up. You know what I mean? So for me, it's not following any of the beats that you're used to when, like, if you go into a slasher film or if you go into a paranormal film or, ghost film, you kind of recognize where the scares are going to come from, how they're going to handle it, where they're going to end up. Because especially considering so many people are just hell bent on doing homages now that they just fully buy into the formula. But here, I didn't really know. I had no idea what was going on because to me there was no blueprint. So with that in mind, I was completely riveted the whole way through. Yes, some stuff didn't work for me, but overall, I thought it was entertaining as all hell, and I found it really interesting too.
So if you're not familiar, Unfriended, the whole movie is on a computer screen. So it is. Does it? It's just one screen, right? It's just the main
Yeah.
character's screen. It doesn't
Yep.
switch
And
different screens.
no,
So
and it's just
it's
really
just one
interesting
screen.
to how they do. Like you type a message out, and then you delete it, and then you type another message out, and then you delete it, so you can kind of see like the thought process of where
Yeah,
what she wants to say and how she's getting to it, and then like her hovering or like a cursor over something, like you know what I mean, like
yeah.
she's
That's
not 100% sure if she wants to click on it or not.
that's been done before, but there was a short film that came out a few years ago that was like that wasn't a horror film or anything, but they did the exact same thing. But it's definitely something that is hasn't been done a whole lot, and it does work because it's really interesting. It puts you in the mind of this main character who you don't really see. You see their actions on the computer, but it really kind of puts you in their head when they're hovering over things and typing out messages and then deleting them and stuff like that. I think it's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
And for me, a lot of that movie worked as well. I was glad to see that Terry was in it, old Terror Bear.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while.
But yeah, Unfriended is definitely worth a look, I would say. I saw a movie called Better Watch Out. This is a Christmas horror movie directed by Chris Peckover.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk a lot about the plot of this one because this is one that you absolutely need to go into cold because there's a big twist that happens maybe in the second act, maybe a little bit after. Yeah, I'd say probably 30, 45 minutes into it maybe that changes the whole dynamic of the film. And if you know what that twist is, this movie is not going to work for you. So it's very important if you are interested in this movie to go in knowing nothing. The synopsis is okay. You can read the synopsis. At least the one on Letterboxd is fine. But I would not watch a trailer or anything. I went into it completely cold, and I could tell right off the bat, like, oh, okay. Well, if anybody knows what's going to happen here, this is going to ruin the whole movie. But basically, it's about a baby. It's another babysitter movie, which is really weird that I would watch two of these in a row. I had no idea. It was just a coincidence. But this kid who has a crush on his babysitter, and she's about to move away. She's moving to Pittsburgh to go to school, I think, and he has a big crush on her, and he decides that this final night that she's over at his house, he's gonna tell her that he has a crush on her. But then some intruders come and home invade, and that's all I'll say about it. But it goes to some really interesting places. I feel like a lot of it didn't necessarily work for me, but there's enough here that it feels like something different. It goes to it's a pretty depraved movie when you reflect on it afterwards, but it's interesting nonetheless. Better Watch Out is the name of it.
Okay. I'm gonna keep this brief, but this is one that I kind of forgot to talk about over the last couple. I saw Fire Walk with Me.
Oh, okay.
I think I forgot to bring that up, but I watched Fire Walk with Me, and holy shit, that movie is incredible.
Yeah,
I love it. Cheryl Lee is amazing in that movie. That's an all-timer performance. Everything with that picture is creepy as all hell, and it's just, man, that sucker delivered. Because the season 2, the Twin Peaks, it gets a little rough.
yeah.
It started losing me in a couple spots where I'm just like, this isn't good. This isn't good anymore.
Well, now,
what are we doing?
So you finished Firewalk with Me, and you're on season 3 now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts so far on season 3?
I love it.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
And you're still early in the season too. There's 18 episodes.
Yeah. I'm pretty stoked.
And it just gets better and better too. So
yeah, because I mean, once the first episode kicked off, and I kind of had an idea what everyone talking about on Twitter and stuff. But the nice thing is it doesn't really spoil it. But at the same time, I kind of knew like it seems like it's going to be a little abstract, and I was really happy that there's more of that.
Oh, it's like it's almost the whole thing. It's there's very, if there's any big difference, I mean the new season 3 is actually very similar in a lot of ways in structure to the other seasons, but the big thing is right from the beginning, it's really out there, and it stays that way throughout the whole season.
Yeah, I like that.
Definitely. Since we're talking about TV shows, I'll briefly mention I watched Mindhunter on Netflix. This is the David Fincher show about takes place in the 70s. It's about these two guys, these two FBI agents who are in the criminal science division. I already forgot the name of the specific department they're in, but they devised this study to basically profile killers. And this is like something new at the time. They didn't really have criminal profiling back then, and they didn't even have the term serial killer back then. So these guys basically were the first to do this study to sort of profile serial killers. In the show, they call them sequence killers. They didn't actually coin the phrase at the time. And it's sort of a procedural where every episode they sort of tackle either a crime or they will go to a prison and talk to a serial killer. And it's a fascinating show. It's very well scripted, and it looks incredible. It looks exactly like a Fincher movie, where it has that same color palette that he likes to use, where it's like everything is sort of has the color pulled out of it. You know, everything looks very drab and monotone, but it just works so well. Zodiac comes to mind. Just the color grading on the show it's so good. But I finished the first season. I enjoyed it quite a bit, so I would recommend checking out Mindhunter when you get a chance. Fincher directed like 2 or 3 of the episodes, but they're all good.
You already finished it?
Yeah, it's like 8 episodes or something. It's not super long.
Gotcha.
But I binged it, so finished it in like 2 days. Anything else on your watch list?
Nope, I'm done.
All right, let's move on and talk about some new releases this week. What do we got? Biggies. We got some biggies here. Geostorm.
Oh god,
it's the disaster movie. It looks pretty bad.
I don't understand this shit. I don't understand these movies.
Disaster movies?
What the fuck you want to see this for?
My dad loves disaster movies. Those are like his guilty pleasure.
I guess like at a certain time they were kind of novel, with to see the effects and everything. But I think now where Like it's just an onslaught of actual natural disasters.
Right, we don't need it. We don't need the
It's just
fictional
like,
ones. We're
yeah,
dealing with
like,
the real life ones at this
yeah,
point.
no, thank you. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
I think it looks pretty bad. I'm not interested. We have the Snowman, which also looks very bad, and apparently some reviews are starting to come out that mirror that thought that it's not very good. I'm not really sure. Like when I first saw the trailer for this, I was like, oh, that looks pretty bad. And it's called the Snowman. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But it's got some big people in it.
And it's Thomas Alfredson, and it's based on the Joe Nesbo book. So I don't know.
I mean, I'll probably still check it out because I kind of like these crime thrillers. But yeah, I don't know, man. Apparently, it's not very good.
Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer's in it.
Oh well, I'm definitely seeing it now. Come on.
Yeah.
We have Tyler Perry's Boo 2, a Medea Halloween.
Yeah.
Only the Brave, The Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's the new Lanthimos one that I'm sure you are excited about, as am I.
I am. Yes. Thank you.
That has top 10 material right there for me.
Correct.
Leatherface, this is one that I talked about, I think, last week and said stay away from. It's not very good. Jungle with Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay.
I think it's about a guy trapped in the jungle.
Good choice on the title then.
Mm-hmm. Tragedy Girls. This is one that I'm curious about. The horror comedy, I think.
All right.
We'll have a review for that one up early this week. Wonderstruck. That's the new Todd Haynes.
Yeah.
I'm actually not really interested in this.
I have absolutely no thoughts on it whatsoever.
Yeah. BPM, beats per minute. This one I am interested in.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, this one won a whole lot of awards on the festival circuit. Heard nothing but good things. I saw a trailer for it recently when I saw Florida Project, and I was like, yep, I'm definitely into that one.
Count me in.
Count me in. Killing Gunther. This is a comedy with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
This one has Netflix written all over it, although I don't think it's coming out on Netflix.
It wasn't even good enough for Netflix.
It's written and directed by Taron Killam.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's got a ton of SNL people in it, too.
Huh.
It's like a not found footage, but mockumentary, where Arnold plays like the world's top assassin, and Taron Killam plays this other guy who's trying to kill him. Could be worth a couple laughs. Who knows? Jane. This is a documentary about Jane Goodall. Bad Day for the Cut. Not sure what that is. Dealt. I think it's about a blind magician.
Right.
Never Hear. That's a documentary. Kills on Wheels. This is one that I'm really not sure what this is all about, but I'm definitely into it. It's a meaningful action comedy of a wheelchair-bound assassin gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's assassin weekend.
Yeah, I sent when the poster for this one came out, I sent it to Ryan.
I remember when I first heard about this, I was like, Ryan has to see this.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna try to get it for him. Let's see what else we have here. That's it. That's pretty much it. A little bit of a light week.
Yeah.
Next week. See what we got on VOD. We have Dead Body. This is coming out on the 17th. The Evil That Men Do, which is also the 17th. The 19th, we have Revolt, which is going to be on DirecTV. DirecTV still a thing, evidently. And then on the 20th, we have Leatherface and Jungle.
Okay.
I'm sure.
I want to meet someone that is like awaiting things to be released on DirecTV.
DirecTV exclusive, Revolt.
I can't fucking wait until the 19th. Gonna watch Revolt.
Starring Lee Pace.
Who is it? There's no one besides Lee Pace, probably.
Watch his own movie on DirecTV. He only has it because they gave him a free package for them buying that movie. It was part of the deal. You have to give Lee Pace a DirecTV subscription.
You got something out of it.
This week on Blu-ray, this is for October 17th. We have Samurai Jack, the complete 5th season. That's the new Samurai Jack. Never got into Samurai Jack, but I heard nothing but great things.
Get into it either. I appreciate it and everything, but I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes. I think the big hurdle for me was I just didn't like the animation. I just wasn't into the animation style.
Yeah.
I'll do it. See what else. What is this? Frankenshark has absolutely ridiculous cover. I can't. I mean, just see if you can find this cover for Frankenshark. It's just a woman in a bikini in like thigh-high water with a net.
Showing up on. It's not even on IMDb. This isn't real. You're just making this up. This is all.
Well, it says the director is Bill Zabub, so I don't know. It's on Blu-ray.com. It looks. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Okay.
Let's see what else we have.
Oh my God! You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, you see it?
Yes. What? I did not ask the maker to mold me shark from clay.
Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Serenity's getting a 4K release. My Neighbor Totoro is coming out again on Blu-ray. I have a Blu-ray for this. I don't understand why they're putting out another one.
You gotta get another one.
This is, I don't know why this is coming out. Shout Factory's putting this out, which is really weird. Because doesn't Disney own Studio Ghibli now?
I think so.
I don't know. I have the Disney release of it, and it's like packed full of features and stuff, so I don't know why this is necessary. Ponyo's coming out too, so I'm not sure. And Kiki's Delivery Service. It looks like G Kids is putting out all of these Ghibli movies. Howl's Moving Castle is coming out. Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away.
Love that movie.
It's all the biggies.
Love them.
Rolling Vengeance from 1987 is coming out. Kino is putting that out. Not sure what it's about, but I'm kind of into it just from the cover. Looks like a giant monster truck with some kind of drill thing on the front.
Yeah.
Rolling Vengeance. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh, Stranger Things Season 1's coming out on Blu-ray.
There you go.
That's interesting. Netflix continuing their home release.
Gonna do it. I have a feeling that they probably have like a mark that a show or whatever has to hit for them to release it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It looks
because I don't see them do it with everything. I don't think you're gonna see.
Well, the
easy crimes, small crimes, little crimes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. Some crimes like that's not gonna get on DVD. I don't think.
I think it's just gonna be their original shows. That's what it seems to be, like their original TV shows, the big ones. The release for this looks awesome. It looks like it comes in a VHS case, and it's like it looks weathered. It's got a really cool cover, but it looks like it's a Target exclusive.
Ooh.
Really cool cover, except for the giant Target sticker that's on the front. Man, I'm so pumped for season 2. Oh,
jazzed up.
What do we have on the Criterion front this week?
Oh, we got 2 biggies. Number 1 is, I just talked about it. It's called Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. I would suggest that one. I was a big fan. So that's coming out on the Blu-ray. And then you also have Stanley Kubrick's Barry Lyndon from 1975.
Never saw this one.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, and it looks great. I mean, it's high time to rectify that whole situation of not seeing Barry Lyndon.
Definitely.
It is 185 minutes, so settle and get a comfy chair, get some snacks.
Settle in for
that's it. This
Barry
is those 2.
All right.
That's right.
I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. If you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse. Consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
Can hardly recognize the stories now, but we know they're true. It seems we want to find ourselves so close to